Hi, my name is Laura Brandenburg from Bridging the Gap. And do you ever have stakeholders not show up to your meetings? Or they show up and they're like distracted on their phone or their laptop, and they're physically there but presently somewhere else, like mentally and emotionally somewhere else? Or you ask questions, you just don't get the answers that you need. All of these problems will slow down your requirements process. They will make you less effective as a business analyst, and they will make it more challenging for you to actually discover the true problem to be solved and get the information you need from stakeholders to make sure that you're solving that problem in the right way. So today I have 10 tips to share with you to engage your stakeholders more effectively and to help you work through all of these challenges. So let's talk about how to actually engage your stakeholders, often through meetings, sometimes through email and other mediums. But most often, we're engaging our stakeholders through some form of either in-person or virtual meeting. We're going to talk about that today. So the number one tip I have for you is to start your meetings on time, no matter what. Be the person in your organization that isn't the one who starts meetings 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late. Your meetings start on time, and if they're late, they missed something juicy and interesting, right? So you are encouraging a culture of showing up on time, of starting out right away and making the most of everyone's time. It's difficult at first, but as you cultivate this habit, people will show up on time and they will be more engaged. Second, in order to do that, you need to make sure your meetings are truly working meetings and that you're really getting something done, and people want to be there because when they're there, they're part of the decision, they're part of the input, and if they're not there, it's like they're missing out on the good, important work that is happening to move their project forward. So that's the second thing. Really make sure your meetings are productive, they're adding value, they're moving projects forward, and that work is tied to an end result that's important to your stakeholders. Third, ask questions, right? So ask powerful questions. Learn how to ask why 20 different ways. Learn how to use analysis models to discover gaps so that you can find the questions that no one else is asking. And those gap filling questions, like you got to ask them, you've got to hold the space for people to answer them. So fourth, sometimes you will ask a question and people will be like, I don't know, like they either get brain freeze and they really literally don't know the answer, or they get stuck, right, answering the question. So sometimes you do need to make a statement, sometimes a bold statement, to get them thinking, oh wait, that could be an answer to the question, that could be an answer, right? You kind of get them thinking. Sometimes you need to put like something almost ridiculous out there, because then it's like, no, not that, like that's not the answer to this question. And with that like bold, almost ridiculous statement, you at least got them engaged and you got them thinking of alternative answers. Number 5 is to be quiet and listen. So a lot of EAs are really, really good at this, but some business analysts still like to talk, like to show how much they know about the solution, like to demonstrate their competence through kind of showing how they're figuring things out instead of asking the questions, receiving the information, creating the model to show that. So sometimes you really do just need to be quiet. You need to let somebody work out the answer in their head. You need to kind of probe them and ask more questions to get through it, but mostly you're quiet and you're listening and you're receptive and you're taking it all in, okay? So number 6, is use your analysis tools to help you discover those gaps and ask powerful questions. Now, this might not happen all in one meeting. You might need to listen or ask a question, listen, go back and have your quiet space to analyze, piece together all the information that you found, and then come back and be like, as I was putting this together, I discovered this gap here and this gap here, and that's how you come back second, third, fourth time with more powerful questions that really demonstrate your insight, your value, and get people even more engaged. So number 7 here is clarify what you don't understand instead of kind of pretending you do understand. And so this sometimes means you have to go away and digest that information and schedule another follow-up meeting. Sometimes it means in the meeting itself, you are defining a term Or instead of, somebody's talking, right? And you're just like, it's like sliding past me. I've been this where it's just like, it's sliding past me, right? And bring yourself back. Okay, what I hear you saying is this, can you clarify this piece? Or I didn't catch this in this, could you clarify that? Or just asking, again, a clarifying question, clarifying terminology. It's one of the most powerful things you can do as a business analyst is be the one who's willing to clarify what you don't understand. Trust your brilliance, trust your knowledge and your insight, trust your ability to comprehend, and to asking questions shows what you do understand and what you don't. And that's not a position of weakness of like, I'm not getting it, right? It's a position of strength of like, I'm a smart person. I get a lot of things, but this piece is unclear to me, and here's why it's important to the project. Okay, so number 8, through all of that, reflect back what you've heard. And reflect back, so there's a few powerful ways we can do this. One is in a meeting, actually paraphrase what I just heard you say is this. Another way is when we do go back to our desks and are doing our independent work on our analysis models, right? When we bring that back to our stakeholders to say, here are all the things I heard in our last discussion. Here are all the things I took away from that. Here's the model I put together, not just because I'm a business analyst and I know all these fancy models, but here's the model I put together to reflect and to summarize and to capture what I think we together created. So you're involving them as a co-creator of that model, even though you're the one that did all the work in Visio or put the template together, right? But you want to show that what you put in there was a reflection of what you understood from them. And again, inviting additional feedback, of course. But you're reflecting back that you value their input, and that's going to lead to more input and engagement in the future. So number 9 is assigning action items. So when you are in a meeting and somebody's like, I just don't know how that works, I need time to think about that, or I'm not sure if I want A, B, or C, like I need to think about that. Like, and if it's legit, right? Not just like, let me think about that and I'll get back to you later, but like, I really am not sure. So one way is like you can engage in discussing their decision process, right? You can help them through the decision. But another, can you take some time to do that in the next couple of the days? And could you get back to me with your decision on X, Y, and Z, right? So you're assigning a very clear action item. You're linking it to forward progress in the in the project. You're engaging them. It doesn't always have to be in the meeting, but you're engaging them in the process. Or I need to go research this or see how my team is going to handle this, right? And so, okay, great. How long do you need to do that? And can we meet again in 2 days? Or can you summarize for everyone via email what that looks like so we can incorporate it into our decision-making process for this project? It's another way to engage people. And then finally, number 10, you really want to be clear when lack of engagement is holding up the process. Right? So a lot of times I think people don't understand that just showing up to a meeting isn't enough, right? Like, well, I showed up to all the meetings that the BAs asked me to and didn't end up on time, like, right? Like, I didn't realize that because of the way I was showing up unengaged or I couldn't answer those questions, it was actually holding the project back. And so it takes the discipline for you to know, first of all, to know, how does this decision fit into the context of the project, and how can where does it fit in the dependencies so that we're continuing to move forward, right? So you have to have that structure and that approach and that leadership for your project. It also means communicating to someone the impact that they're having on the project. So it's a bit of leadership, stepping into a bigger role for some of us as business analysts. So I have one more bonus tip for you. So that was number 10, is like tying into the result. The bonus tip for you is to believe in yourself, right? So the more that you believe in yourself, in your tools, and have an inner confidence, this shows up in asking questions and not being afraid to be the one who doesn't understand a piece of things, right? So the more you can believe in yourself, the more others will believe in you. And the more they will just want to be around you, and they'll be engaged in the process because you're engaged in the process. So again, this is Laura Brandenburg. I'm from Bridging the Gap, and we had 10 tips here for engaging your stakeholders, and we came in perfect, just around 10 minutes. So I hope that you take these tips and apply them to your career, and I'd love to hear what lands for you.